All right, guys, so we got to talk about this fascinating story out of Denver, Colorado, about how it seems like the Democrats that are running that city are playing a game of hot illegal, right? Hot potato, right? As in, hot potato, right? You kind of pass the potato around. You don't want to keep it. You don't want to hold it, right? It seems that's what they're doing with illegal immigrants, okay? As there is leaked video showing city officials begging the illegals to leave and go to other sanctuary cities. I mean, even kind of propositioning that, hey, we'll help you go to Canada, right? Because we are facing a massive $120 million budget cut. We simply cannot afford to have you here. So if you want to go to another city, hey, we'll bus you to other cities, right? And I want to play this video because, it is shocking, but also not so shocking that, again, these liberal cities are trying to pawn off the illegals, the people that they claim they want, to other cities during Biden's border crisis. So without further ado, roll the clip.
The city of Denver is offering a stark warning to newly arriving migrants. Stay here and you will suffer. Denver's offering migrants help to move on to anywhere else in the country. Tonight, for the first time, we're able to see how Denver tries to convince migrants to leave in video obtained by Next from inside a migrant shelter.
The opportunities are over. That's Andres Carrera, political director for Denver Mayor Mike Johnston.
Nueva York te da más, Chicago te da más. Entonces sugiero que vaya por allá, donde hasta también con un albergue de más largo plazo, también hay más oportunidades de trabajo por allá.
Carrera is Denver's so-called newcomer communications liaison. That means that he meets the busloads of new arrivals. The city says this group got here on March 26, sent up by Texas's Republican Governor Greg Abbott. He warns them the jobs, the resources, the opportunities have already gone to the 40,000 migrants who came to Denver before that.
Hemos recibido demasiados migrantes y por eso se acabaron los recursos. Mira, no te vamos a bloquear. Si quieres permanecer aquí, no estoy aquí para bloquearte. Estoy aquí para avisarte que tu camino no ha terminado. Si permanecen aquí, vas a sufrir hasta más. Y eso no lo quiero ver.
Parents listen quietly as children play on the floor. As Denver tells these families that have sometimes walked from one continent to another that they just have to keep moving. But they don't have to walk. Denver will buy them a bus ticket.
Tu camino no ha terminado. Tu camino no ha terminado. Que viajas un tantito más. No tienes que caminar por ningún parte. Podemos comprarte boleto gratuito. Puedes ir a cualquier ciudad. Hasta la frontera de Canadá te llevamos. Donde sea.
The city says it won't buy bus tickets to Canada, but it will help migrants get to American border cities up north. It's a desperate pitch by Denver, a city that has taken in more migrants per capita than any city outside the southern border, and is looking at $120 million in budget cuts to pay for migrant services. The moment of truth. Who in the crowd wants to go to a different city? And who wants to stay in Denver? Todos, a migrant says. Everyone.
The clock is now ticking for the migrants who arrived on that bus. Families have 6 weeks in Denver shelters and then they must go. Individuals get 14 days in shelter. As they were warned, after that, there may not be resources to help them.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Somebody please send that video to Eric Adams, who recently went on a Breakfast Club and tried to boohoo, whine, and cry racism, claiming that, well, all the illegals being sent to New York, they're just coming from Texas, right? Because Greg Abbott is targeting black mayors, okay, trying to make black folks look bad. Now, again, what you see there are illegals being sent to Denver from Texas, okay, because Denver is a sanctuary city run by a far-left Democrat who happens to be white, and then he's turning around and trying to pawn off the illegals to cities like New York, other sanctuary cities, okay? Chicago, New York, Boston, right? Even telling them that, hey, we'll send you to some of these sanctuary border cities up north, and, if you want to go to Canada from there, feel free to go for it. Again, when is Eric Adams going to come out and to criticize the Denver mayor and accuse him of racism for sending them illegals, right? Is he targeting blacks too? Or is he saying that, hey, these illegals are a strain on our social safety net, therefore we need to get them out of here, right? We need to pay for them to be bused to other cities because it's not a problem, right? We don't really want to deal with it, okay? We just want to save ourselves. See, again, it's just so funny. When Texas does that, oh, it's racism. When Denver does that, a white Democrat, a white liberal does it, silence, crickets, right? Eric Adams, again, I wonder, is he going to come out here and call the mayor of Denver a racist, right? The Democrat, a racist for sending illegals to New York City, claiming that, hey, they have more resources. They can give you guys jobs, right? Which, again, wasn't that what they were complaining about? Claiming that Greg Abbott were making these false claims, okay, that the illegals will have opportunities in these liberal cities, which, hey, I'm not even sure if that's a false claim. Because, again, that is what these Democrats were advertising until they got too many illegals, right? Once they got too many illegals, it was like, oh, no, we don't have any opportunities. Don't come here anymore, right? We don't actually really want you. Again, it's just amazing how that worked. Where is Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, who, again, was complaining about Greg Abbott, accusing him of white supremacy for sending illegals to Chicago? Is the Democrat liberal that's running Denver, is he guilty of white supremacy too? Again, it's just so funny, right? I want to see if any of these Democrat mayors are going to come out here and criticize their colleague, their fellow comrade, for sending them illegals. You probably won't hear anything from it, right? Just like you're probably not going to hear too much about the fact that Joe Biden is still allowing the border crisis to happen. He's still allowing these illegals into the country at an unprecedented rate. So much so that even the illegals that attacked our National Guard, okay, we caught it on camera, attacking the National Guard. Those illegals have been allowed into the country, and they can basically just look out for themselves without any type of oversight from the government. And Karine Jean-Pierre was pressed on the fact that we're letting illegals who attacked our military, literally attacked our military, come into the country. When pressed on that, of course, she tried to blame Trump. It's Trump's fault.
Most of the border crossers accused of beating up Texas National Guardsmen in a riot last month were released on their own recognizance Sunday. How does that make people in this country any safer?
So I have to refer you to Department of Justice and DHS on that particular reporting. I will say this, as the event unfolded, the Border Patrol was able to act quickly and get the situation under control and apprehend the migrants. And we were grateful that the Border Patrol was able to do their job. Look, there is a challenge at the border, right? Our immigration system has been broken for decades, even before this president became president, obviously, more than 3 years ago. And this president, a couple months ago, worked with the Senate in a bipartisan fashion to get a negotiation done, right? And what we saw is from the last president, President Trump, told Republicans in Congress not to move forward with this negotiation, this agreed plan, this agreed proposal, because it would help Joe Biden. That's what was reported by some of you. And we can actually deal with this. We can actually deal with what we're seeing. And because they didn't move forward, right, because they didn't move forward with this proposal, because of the last president, and because they put politics ahead of the American people, we are seeing chaos. And so we want to get this done. We did. We worked with Congress to get this done, to deal with the challenges at the border. President Trump got in the way, and because President Trump got in the way, Republicans are now getting in the way.
Wow, amazing. This woman is sick, right? Absolutely sick. Okay, see, people go boohoo, whine, and cry, hey, you call Chris Jean-Pierre diversity hire. Well, I mean, listen to her. She gets asked a question, and she basically says that, well, I can't answer the question. I'm going to refer you to somebody else, which what she always does. I don't understand what is the point of even doing these press conferences. Then she goes on to blame Trump for something that Trump has nothing to do with, absolutely nothing to do with at all. But again, people boohoo, whine, and cry when Cringe gets called out for what she actually really is, which is a diversity hire, okay? Because apparently she don't know shit, right? Nothing at all, okay? So with that being said, yes, guys, it is true. Migrants arrested at the southern border after attacking the National Guard were released by an El Paso judge on Easter. Released into the country. You can't make this up, bruh. You can't make this up, this country. Only thing I can do is laugh at this point. okay? Because if I don't laugh, then I'll lose my fucking mind, okay? Because that is how frustrating this is, okay? I mean, it seems like nobody has any common sense when it comes to what is going on with immigration in this country, right? I mean, there's no ounce of competence at all, right? So let's read here. At least some migrants allegedly involved in a wild stampede that overwhelmed National Guard's troops at the southern border in Texas were released by an El Paso judge on Easter Sunday, according to a report. Presiding magistrate judge Humberto Acosta ruled during a bond hearing that migrants charged with riot participation would be set free following the shocking riot along the Rio Grande 10 days ago, according to the El Paso Times. Acosta decided to release them after claiming that El Paso District Attorney's Office was not ready to go forward with detention hearings for each defendant. The paper said, well, what the hell do you need to hear? What do we need to hear? I mean, we got it on video. We know they did it. They should be deported immediately. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. There's too much bureaucracy when it comes to this. I mean, they shouldn't be a hearing. What? They ain't no American citizen. We don't need to give them due process, right? We saw it. They're coming in illegally. They attacked our National Guard. They should be immediately deported. No questions asked. That's what the same country would do. Why do we need to waste taxpayer dollars going through these hearings when they participated in a riot? Again, that's the problem. That's the problem. This is the problem, guys. This is the problem. Again, that's how easy it is to get in this country. Think about what type of message is it sending to people trying to get into this country. You can literally attack the National Guard and you will be released. They'll let you in. They will accept your asylum claim, right? They'll accept it. You're not automatically disqualified if you attack the National Guard, if you quite literally declare war on this country, right? Because that's what that is. That's an act of war. You attacked our military. And you still will be let into the country? Wow. Wow. You can't make this up. Quote, it is a ruling of the court that all the rioting participation cases will be released on their own recognizance, Acosta stated during the virtual conference, according to the newspaper. Texas authorities arrested migrants on rioting-related charges tied to the violent scene where razor wire was ripped down and National Guard is knocked over, according to shocking footage captured by the Post. Yeah, so, I mean, I really don't know what to say at this point, okay? I mean, this is insane. This is insane. Let's read more here. The border crossers consisted of mostly adult males, and they severely outnumbered the guardsmen who were desperately trying to place them into groups so they could be taken into Customs and Border Patrol custody on March 21st. During the tense encounter, hordes of migrants were able to scramble to a border gate in hopes that Border Patrol agents on the other side would take them into custody and allow them in the U.S. Some guardsmen were left with minor injuries. Some migrants were hit with assault of a public servant and criminal mischief charges, and it's unclear if the judge's Sunday ruling applied to those defendants or only those charged with riot participation, the El Paso Times reported. Court officials also said migrants will remain detained if a federal immigration hold is preventing their release, according to the newspaper. Well, I mean, there should be a federal immigration hold on all of them, right? I mean, the Fed should be trying to deport all these people, okay? That's really what should be happening. Assistant District Attorney Ashley M. Martinez requested on Sunday to have hearings at a later date. Acosta, however, denied that request. It is also unclear how many migrants were charged with riot participation, a misdemeanor. Judge Acosta said hundreds of arrestees had the right to individual detention hearings within 48 hours, the newspaper reported. Quote, so if the DA's office is telling me that they are not ready to go, what we're going to do is we're going to release all these individuals on their own recognizance, Acosta reportedly told her. Yeah, so again, just the absolute disaster. Absolute disaster. Absolute disaster here. The rule of law in this country is apparently not a thing, okay? An official previously told the Post last week that Immigration and Customs Enforcement was holding more than 200 migrants that authorities wanted to arrest and charge. However, federal officials were not as cooperative as the Border Patrol. Another hearing is expected Monday, per the El Paso Times. The Post has sought comment from the district attorney's office. Texas has attempted to use National Guardsmen and state authorities to arrest and deport migrants who enter the country illegally, but the Biden administration has sought to block that action. Last week, a federal appeals court prevented Texas from going forward with that action. Early in March, the law briefly went into effect when a split U.S. Supreme Court allowed it to progress while the legal challenge played out. Yeah, so again, absolute mess. Okay, absolute mess, absolute disaster. Thanks to the Biden administration. And, you know, this is currently the state that we're at, right, in this country. I am speechless, right? I am just absolutely speechless when it comes to this illegal immigration crisis that we're having. This is why we have to get Trump back in office, guys. I mean, if there is any other issue, okay, I mean, this issue right here is the most important issue, one of the most important issues, because I believe that Trump would most definitely be handling this situation better than this. So, hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.